Yeah, I said I wouldn't do it, but I did. I bought the Pixel 9 Pro. Now, when the Pixel 9 Pro launched, I said categorically that I would not buy it because, frankly, the Pixel 8 Pro right here is still an absolutely fantastic device. The cameras hadn't really changed, and they didn't look like to be enough improvements for me to buy it, to warrant buying it. I had a little play with a Pixel 9 Pro XL of a friend's, and I still wasn't sold on the idea, though, of replacing my Pixel 8 Pro. Mostly, I think, because I just absolutely adore this color. A few weeks ago, Google had an offer on the Google Play Store for people that had like a gold Play Points account or something, and it gave you 30% off a Pixel 9 series phone. They got my attention. And with that, you could also trade in your phone. And for the Pixel 8 Pro, they were offering a £550 trade-in. So to get the regular Pixel 9 Pro in the base storage model, it cost me a total of £149. Now, you might think, well, why bother if you're completely happy with the Pixel 8 Pro? There were still some things that bothered me about this phone. Number one being the fingerprint reader. Now, since the Pixel 6 series came along, we've had these optical fingerprint readers on the Pixels that have been terrible. I know it, you know it. They have not been up to scratch at all. Now, with the move over to the Pixel 9 series, we have an ultrasonic. And it's just really quick and easy. Ultrasonic, we all know, it's fantastic. We don't have those, trying over and over to unlock the phone now. That is solved. Actually, that's a really nice quality of life feature that you just don't appreciate enough. I think a lot of people don't. I had a really bad experience back in the day with the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus when we had that first sort of move over into the in-screen fingerprint readers, and I hated it. I hated it enough to actually get rid of the phone within 6 months of buying it. So I'm really glad that Google has made that transition to ultrasonic. It's as good as it gets. And there's no trying to unlock it in the middle of the night and blinding yourself. Kudos, Google. Now, the second reason that I decided to pick this up was because I wasn't completely happy with the battery life. Totally fine on Wi-Fi, not a problem. But when you're out and about on data, the Pixel 8 Pro, not a battery champ, as you will probably know. The Pixel 9 Pro, remember, this is the smaller one. This has a smaller battery. It lasts me longer than the Pixel 8 Pro, which has a 5,000 milliamp hour. I think this is around 4,700. Considerably better. The battery life is very, very good. And it's quite surprising because there's not really been that many changes from 10 to G3 to G4. I was actually thinking it'd be quite negligible overall. But battery life seems to be one of the main benefits, so I am very happy in that regard that I made that switch. Now, even though I really like the design of the Pixel 8 Pro, especially the absolutely fantastic colors that we got, the design of the 9 series, especially in terms of the build quality, it feels more substantial. It feels more well built. I don't know if that's to do with the fact that it now has those sort of flat sides. And it is completely flat, but it just feels like a unit. It feels really solid. I think people have been wanting that for a while from Google, for the Pixel series to feel as good as an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy. And now it does. Feels wonderful. I never really had issues with performance with the Pixel 8 Pro. The Tensor G3 tended to do pretty much everything that I wanted it to do. Sure, it wasn't fantastic if you were editing photos in Lightroom Mobile. If you were doing it on a Snapdragon-powered phone, you definitely noticed the difference when you were, making your edits, exporting those edits. It was a lot quicker on those phones. Pixel sort of lagged behind quite a lot. And it's really not much different with Pixel 9 Pro. The performance is still nowhere near the Snapdragon and the Dimensity chips from MediaTek. So, it's not doing anything spectacular, but there is a noticeable difference in terms of the smoothness, and the thermals are managed a little bit better. It still gets a little bit toasty at times, but we're in basically winter now, so it's not really noticeable. When we get back to warmer temperatures, we should find out just how the Pixel 9 Pro really performs. I said it near the start of the video that the cameras aren't really any different, other than the front-facing camera that had a pretty decent upgrade, actually. The rest of the cameras, disappointingly, not so much. I was really hoping that Google would do something with the periscope lens, maybe give us a telemacro. That's the one thing I feel is missing from this phone, is having a telemacro. You've got a macro mode, which you can use with the ultra-wide, which is the same as what it was on the Pixel 8 Pro. It's nice to not have to get the phone in really close to something. Doing it with a telemacro at a little bit of a distance gives you a lot more flexibility, and tends to look a hell of a lot better as well. Even taking those sort of shots from the Sony Xperia 1 Mark VI, which has got a pretty terrible telephoto lens, you could get some really nice results. And I'm at the point now where whichever phone I want to carry, it needs to have telemacro. I need a phone with a telemacro. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of the Pixel 9 Pro. What I will say, though, is that the 50 megapixel snaps from the 9 Pro do process a little bit quicker, and also the shutter lag isn't as bad as it was on the 8 Pro. It's one of the things with the 8 Pro that I really got frustrated with, because I would always take a picture and then you have that shutter lag, and then it's just a completely different image to what you actually wanted to take. So it's nice to have that. It's still not as fast as I want it to be, but it's definitely improved. I've also been getting a little bit fatigued with large phones of late, having to have a massive phone just to get the best camera system. I was pleasantly surprised when Google announced that the Pixel 9 Pro would have the exact same camera system as the 9 Pro XL. This is something we've not had since the Pixel 4 and 4 XL series. And I'm very, very happy that they did that, because having a smaller phone, I mean, it's not that small, let's be fair. They're not that small, these phones. But they're as small as they're going to get in terms of a flagship format. And I am really enjoying having this size. Last year, as some of you know, I ran the iPhone 15 Pro, my first iPhone since the iPhone 11. And I really enjoyed that phone, most because of the size. Obviously, I'm not really a massive fan of iOS and the way Apple does things in terms of the camera. But I like a Pixel. And the fact that this is basically an iPhone 15 Pro to me, but with a slightly better design, and it's a Pixel, so it's nigh on perfect for everyday use. I'm quite happy they went that route, just to get that smaller form factor and have the same cameras as the larger model. I'm hoping they continue with that. So was it actually worth upgrading to the 9 Pro from the 8 Pro for me? Yes, definitely. Were there any downsides to it? Just one, and it's pretty niche, I would imagine. It's not something that I've seen anybody talking about at all. But the one thing that has bugged me a little bit, only a little, just a bit, is the fact that the extra dim mode on the 9 Pro does not go as dim as the 8 Pro. Or any other phone that I have with the extra dim mode. It still seems pretty bright, even when you go into the settings, in the extra dim settings, and you slide it all the way down to make it as dim as possible. No. Doesn't really get that dim. I don't know if that's an issue with the software, maybe some sort of bug, but kind of infuriating. Although at the same time, it's having the effect of me not wanting to stare at my screen as much at night and putting it away, which is probably quite a good thing at 2 a.m. in the morning. So, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, overall, a really good upgrade for me, considering it only cost me £150 to do it. I, I, how could I not? How could I not? You know, I like having the most up-to-date Pixel anyway, 'cause it's nice to compare to other phones, even if the camera system is basically the same. There's slight improvements on the processing side, but it is slight, really slight. So yeah, it's a solid phone. I'm definitely going to be keeping hold of it, at least until the Pixel 10 series comes along. Then we might get some more interesting changes on the camera front. Fingers crossed. Any of you guys watching, did you make the jump from the 8 Pro to the 9 Pro? What are your thoughts? And if you are here actually seeing if it's worth the upgrade, I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but I would not sell a Pixel 8 Pro and get one of these for twice the price. Because you can get an 8 Pro now. You can get an 8 Pro for about £450, which is and that's in like new condition, which is insane. These are still costing, I mean, what RRP is £1,000. Like, buy the Pixel 8 Pro. Trust me, just buy the Pixel 8 Pro. If you're not getting this at a reduced cost, buy the Pixel 8 Pro. One thing I will say about this, Google, your prices are too high. They're too high. This Tensor chip, it does the job, but I'm paying the same price as I would pay for a Samsung Galaxy or an iPhone. And quite frankly, I want the SoC in there to be just as good if I'm paying the same price. Take note. And on that note, stay grounded, guys. I'll see you in the next one.